Can the LEGO Technic John Deere 948L-II Skidder actually transport logs? Let's find out. When LEGO Technic makes a pneumatic set, it is a historic event. This is an iconic feature that has been around since 1984, and the Skidder is certainly one of the best implementations of pneumatics in modern Technic. Words cannot express just how much fun I had playing with the set. The set comes with 4 gray pneumatic cylinders, a yellow one, as well as a blue pump which is located at the front hood. The first function extends the outer pair of cylinders, bringing the whole claw forward. The inner cylinders simply bend the arm in half, which brings the claw quite low. Of course, we can also activate the yellow cylinder to open and close the claw. Let's test the skidding process. I was not able to grab the branch on my first attempt, although on my second attempt I did manage to successfully pick it up, even though not quite the way I intended, and the branch got stuck between the 2 claws rather than being grabbed properly. The claw is connected to the arm with a small turntable, allowing it to spin in either direction. However, it is not able to fully rotate by 360 degrees simply because there are pneumatic tubes limiting it. The top half of the arm uses 2 of these brand new triangular frame pieces. I'm quite certain that these will have a ton of useful applications in many different creations. One thing I don't like about the set is the awkward placement of the pneumatic controls. I have to bring my hand in from the side in order to control the levers. It's just not a very ergonomic experience. There are a lot of exposed and messy pneumatic tubes here. This could be seen as a downside of this set, however, I actually love it since it looks like a Matrix Sentinel. The side of the cabin has a 12-tooth gear knob which is connected to the following bevel gears, and the motion is ultimately responsible for raising and lowering the front blade. The mechanism uses 2 small linear actuators that were introduced in 2011. The beam construction here looks quite fascinating. If you lower the blade all the way down, you can place it on a flat surface, and surprisingly, the front pair of wheels will be slightly levitated above the ground. I always love it whenever Technic sets are able to lift themselves above the ground, so this function gets my praise. If you would like to get reviews of the Audi RS Q e-tron as well as the Lamborghini Huracan early, then make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Of course, there is no pressure to do so. The drivetrain consists of 2 differentials, one for each wheel, and they both use the newer style heavy-duty bevel gears that were introduced in the Ferrari Daytona Beach. There is no central differential. Opening up the side panels on the hood will give you a small peek at the engine, and if you take off the front system panel, you will be able to see the gorgeous fan. In order to get a closer look at the engine, you unfortunately have to disassemble the front hood. Even after you take off the lid, you still have to remove the engine cover. Now you can finally see the phenomenal 6-cylinder inline engine. It uses the newer 3-stud frictionless pins as well as 1x1 circular spacers. This results in an absolutely fascinating aesthetic. By the way, these universal joints are actually responsible for connecting the knob to the actuators for blade height adjustment. The real-life counterpart on which the set is based on contains a continuously variable transmission. We should have absolutely gotten a transmission like that for this set, especially at that $200 price tag. The Skidder boasts articulated steering, and you can use the hand of God knob at the top. Interestingly, the axles stick out a little, and it looks quite strange. For the purpose of articulating the chassis about the center, there are 2 large turntables. You can shake it as hard as you want and it will never fall apart. This is in contrast to the single, absolutely tiny turntable that was used in the 6x6 valve articulated hauler. Unlike the hauler, you don't have to carry it around like a baby. It is actually quite difficult to use the steering knob, and it probably puts excessive stress on the axle, especially in off-road situations. So I prefer to just grab the entire cabin with my hand and steer it in the desired direction like that. Speaking of off-roading, let's examine the suspension of the Skidder. There are no shock absorbers of any kind. However, if you push it down, the model shows its flags due to the turntables at the center. The front pair of wheels can oscillate to the left and right, so whenever you drive the set over some rocky terrain, it ends up looking very cool. As a result of the oscillating front axle, the model can go side to side even if it's on a flat surface. It is just a small structural problem. However, I absolutely love that we got to see the Class Zeron tires again. They look phenomenal and they go together perfectly with the skidder. This entire drivetrain reminds me of the one used in the LEGO Technic L350F wheel loader. It is remarkably similar to that one. Both lack a central differential, and both drivetrains have a single pair of wheels freely oscillating without any shock absorbers. There are openable doors on either side of the cabin, and you can now rotate the seat to either face the claw or the front of the vehicle. This is my least favorite part of the skidder. There is no interesting mechanical mechanism to move the seat, and you have to do it manually with your fingers. Due to there being a limited amount of room, it is quite difficult to move it with your fingers. The whole process of moving the seat to face it in different directions will cause some frustration. My main issue with the set is that it comes with a manual pump instead of a motorized pneumatic compressor. The Forest Harvester from 2018 retailed for $150, and it had a battery box with an L motor and pneumatics. The skidder retails for $200, and while it does have 489 more pieces than the Harvester, it lacks any motorized functions. At such a premium price point, I would at least expect motor upgradability, which came with many manual pneumatic sets like the tractor with log loader, the EW160E, and many more. LEGO should absolutely bring back motor upgradability. On the other side of the coin, we have the claw, which is easily my favorite aspect of the skidder. It just looks so cool, and it's a lot of fun to play with. It uses some brand new pieces, and I will definitely try to design some battle bots that use these exact claw elements. This is the very first Technic set to come with a paper bag inside. It contained all of the pneumatic tubes. It's only a matter of time before plastic is completely gone and fully replaced with paper. In terms of the aesthetics, the LEGO Technic John Deere 948L-II Skidder set number 4157 looks exceptionally well. The black, yellow, and green color scheme is perfect. From all sides, it captures its real-life counterpart very well. I greatly appreciate the use of various panels here. It does not feel like there is an excessive amount of panels. Rather, there is a golden ratio of exposed parts to panels. At the $200 price point, there should be less sets like the Peugeot or the Formula 1 McLaren and more pneumatic sets like this. The skidder is actually a great parts donor for $200. You get 2 of those heavy-duty differentials with gears, 5 pneumatic cylinders, a pump, 3 pneumatic switches, 2 linear actuators, a good amount of gears, those awesome Class Zeron tires, some frames, and so much more. Of course, it's not a perfect set, but I still think that the value for the money is certainly there, especially after considering the new price increases. The skidder does use a good amount of stickers, but it's definitely not too much like what we saw with the Ferrari 488 GTE. The sticker sheet isn't too big. They look quite good, and they certainly don't take anything away from the model. Unfortunately, if you live in the world's best country like I do, you will have to wait until August 1st to buy this set. However, if you live in Europe, it's already available for a purchase. I wish that the skidder was released on June 1st everywhere in the world. I think that the best set out of the June 1st wave is the blue Bugatti Bolide, and if you would like to know why, then click on the video right over here. This is your Unbrick Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.